next question was, oh, this is good. So because we're in this progression we're in right now, we're kind of getting into a little bit of fasting protocols. And so the question was, does collagen break a fast, or does having butter or ghee or MCT oil break a fast? And so this is a really good discussion because it just depends on what we're trying to do with the fast, right? So we have a great little workshop and progression that we always hold after this 8-week masterclass, and it's called Strategic Fasting. And in that fasting progression, we talk about all the different types of fasts, durations, and what is allowed in these different types of fasts, and we have a progression for it. So understanding what we're trying to do with a fast, ideally a fast it's minimal caloric input. Right, because we're trying to get the body to switch over to this new energy source and then take advantage of all these benefits that we see that come from fasting, especially the cleaning house and the autophagy and the clearing out of damaged proteins. And the more that the body can kind of transition into this fat burning state, I think the more metabolically flexible it becomes, and then less oxidative damage, because being a sugar burner is just a lot more damaging to the body. It's a lot less efficient, right? So fasting has tremendous benefits, but fasting is such a nuanced, subjective term because we're fasting every night when we sleep. Ideally, hopefully you're not doing some sleep eating. I used to do a lot of sleep eating, by the way. But anyway, like you're fasting when you sleep, you're fasting in between meals, so it's all relative. So if we're trying to take advantage, and think about what it is that we're trying to accomplish in health in general and eating real food, I think most of us would agree that we're shooting for, weight loss or optimal body composition, improved performance, and then the health benefits associated with it, right? So when we talk about fasting, the less caloric input we can have, the better, and especially avoiding those things that are going to trigger the body using this different energy source. All right, so when we go through our fasting progressions, we have different durations. We start with a 12-hour fast, and then we bump that up to 16 and 18, which for most people is skipping breakfast, and I think that becomes the default for most of our community. And so within that window, from waking up and having your first meal, you've got this period where you can start to do a little bit of fasting. So I'd say within that short window, the less caloric input, the better. But if you're going to have some kind of caloric input, a little bit of fat is going to reinforce the signal of fat for fuel, right? Now, once I start to get into those little bit longer durations, especially if I'm doing one meal a day, like a 24 or 22-hour fast, or we're doing one of our extended fasts and we're skipping a day and doing 36 hours or 48 hours or something like that, then it starts to become more appropriate to bring in some of the other items like some bone stock and stuff like that. But to answer the question, does collagen break a fast? Yes, collagen would break a fast, technically, right? Collagen is not as bad as having some sugar, but if you're going to consume collagen for the health benefits of consuming collagen, then I would say it'd probably be better to have collagen with a meal, or maybe even with your bone stock, than it would to have it first thing in the morning and some coffee. And at the same time, we're trying to make this work in a modern lifestyle. So if the only time that you can remember to get collagen in is by putting some collagen in your coffee, then I think it's more important to get collagen in than it is to get too caught up in being neurotic about how the fast is going. And again, collagen in the middle of the fast is not anywhere near as fast damaging as having some sugar or something like that, right? But what's ideal is minimal caloric input. Yes, some ghee is fine. Yes, some cream in your coffee is fine because that's reinforcing the signal of fat for fuel. But we mention it in our talks all the time. If you're doing a half a can or a half a carton of cream, then you're kind of missing the point, because now you're having a lot of caloric input and you're disrupting the benefits of the fast. But a little bit's going to be perfectly fine. All right. So I hope that clears that up and answers the question. Space in between meals is extremely powerful, and all of us embrace that to the full degree that we can. And then when we're in that space, the less caloric input, the better. But once you get into those longer durations, then you may need some more stuff to sustain yourself. All right.